Okay, first of all, we had a very good spirited practice today. Our guys the whole bowl practice have came to practice with a great energy, great focus. We transitioned really fully on Oklahoma about 3 practices ago. Our guys offensively and defensively done a super job. Had 3 new players out there, early enrollees, KJ Britt, Malcolm Askew, Jarrett Stidham. They were out there with us. Didn't do a whole lot. Obviously, we're in the middle of preparing for Oklahoma. They were able to do individual. Our their teammates are very excited to have them a part of our family. KJ Britt's a player that we think is going to have a chance to be an outstanding linebacker. Got a great family, great person. Malcolm Askew has a chance to be a very good defensive back. Same thing, great person, great family. Really fits in with us. And of course, Jarrett. It was good to get him out there. He threw some individual. I think it was, he made the comment that's good to be back on the practice field. Been out for a long time, but has real good zip on the ball. And good to have those guys out there. And we'll practice. We'll have 2 more practices, and then we'll send our guys off for Christmas break, and then we'll meet back at the bowl site on the 27th. So overall, feel real good about where we're at with our preparation. Like I said, our players are extremely focused, so that's a good thing. Questions?
Gus, I know you didn't get to see much of it, but how important is it for those guys at least to get a head start on spring practices by going a couple of days?
You talking about the 3 new guys? Oh, yeah. And I think probably more than anything, it gives them an idea of what a practice routine looks like and get around the drills and what drills you'll be doing, and just get around your teammates. There's nothing like getting out there with your teammates, in a practice type situation, but give them more of a foundation. Once spring gets here, it won't just be a shock to their system with the way practice is set up, the tempo, the drills the coaches expect, and all that. So I know that'll help them. Okay.
Yes, when you're so run heavy and run focused, when you're playing a team where the defense is very weak against the pass, how confident are you that with Sean being healthy that you can capitalize on that, because they have had a very tough time this season, particularly in the vertical passing game?
Yeah, and we've been pretty successful running the football, and I think when we've thrown it, when our guys have been healthy, I think we've been pretty efficient. Going to a game like this, you're going to have to be able to do both to be totally effective. And when we're at our best, we've been that way. So. But overall, I think they're a very solid defense.
Do you feel like you could stretch the field? The longest pass all year is 55 yards, and that was by John Franklin late in the Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
Do you think you can maybe hit a 50, 60-yard pass if needed with the guys you have?
It would be good to. We definitely have the guys that could do that. It would definitely be a good thing.
Gus, now that you've been able to watch Sean as kind of progression, you said early on you thought he looked
Yeah.
good. What have you seen out of him?
Yeah, I think it's the last time I talked to you guys. He threw the ball well. That was early on. We've had 1 day off, and we've thrown a lot, and he's been able to handle the volume, and I think that's really good because there was a period of time he didn't throw probably for about a month, but just sporadically. So getting his arm back in shape, it's been really good. I know it's been good for him and his timing and really our overall offense. But he threw the ball well again today. So his arm's starting to get in shape, and expect him to be 100% or really close to it by the time we play.
With guys like LSU's Leonard Fournette and Stanford's Christian McCaffrey announcing that they're going to sit out bowl games, have you had any discussions with guys like Carl and Vaughn about that at all?
No, we hadn't. They've been practicing their tail off, and they're excited to play in the game.
Gus, what are your thoughts on finding Wesley's replacement at DB coach? Do you rely on Kevin Steele a little bit for that?
Yeah, well, definitely. It'll be, me and Kevin. We'll put our heads together, and we're looking for the right person, the right fit for us that will fit with our staff. We got great chemistry with our staff, so I think that's important. Looking for really just a good person that'll be a great example for our players. Looking for a guy that will be a great teacher, that really can complement, Coach Steele and everything that goes with it, and also looking for a great recruiter. So. We'll put our heads together, and we'll try to get that down. We're not in like a big hurry. We want to make sure we you know, take care of our bowl prep, make sure that's before we leave, and then we'll see where it goes.
How important is the recruiting for the secondary here over the next couple of years, you know, with some of these guys that are coming up?
Yeah, I think, you know, secondary, like any other position, is very important. So, yeah, we need to try to get the best in the country.
Is continuity important at that position? I mean, last year at DC, it was an important focus for you in that search, yes, but at the secondary position, this will be a fourth position coach there in 4 years. Is continuity and finding someone who's going to be around for several years important in this?
You know, getting the right person, I think, is the most important thing. Obviously, you'd like some continuity as far as being a little more stable, but, you know, with Kevin Steele, the stability we got running our defense, I think everybody saw. I mean, he's one of the best in the country. What he did with our players and our defense was really outstanding. So the core is definitely there. We're just looking for the right fit, somebody that you know, can do a good job on the back end. So, you know, that's what we're looking for.
As for a timeline, do you think it'll go through the AFCA convention?
What's that?
As for a timeline?
Yeah, I'm not ready to say that. I just want to make sure we get the right person, and you know, we're trying to transition and get done with this bowl practice. There's another phone. If this was team meeting, it wouldn't be good right now. So I'll give you guys a break.
Gus, with the talk of adding another coach to the staff, adding a 10th assistant, is that something you expect to happen, and are you kind of preparing for the?
You know, I'd be all for that, and I think most coaches in our league would be for that. You know, we'll see where that goes. You know, I don't know. They'll vote on it, and we'll see. But I know the SEC coaches were all for it.
But do you have some thoughts already about?
You know, not so much. I mean, there's a process. It's got to be passed first, and then if it is, then we'll make that transition.
Are you happy with your staff right now, the way it's situated offensively and defensively?
Yeah. I mean, we're playing the Sugar Bowl, and you know, like I said, we expect to be healthy, and we expect to play well.
Especially going into next season with your staff, you feel good with them?
Yeah, I do.
Gus, you've had quarterbacks that put up big numbers kind of at every stop you've been at. What is it about Mayfield? I mean, he's on pace to set like the single season efficiency record for NCAA. So what is it when you look at his films like, this is really impressive about this kid?
Yeah, I mean, he's a really good player. I mean, you know, he's good within the system, but what really stands out to me is when things break down, he's probably at his best with his decision making. You know, he can really turn a play, you know, a bad play into a good play, and that's what the special ones do. And I mean, he's got a special gift. You know, he can handle pressure. Very good in the pocket, very good out of the pocket, and you know, he can create.
Any of the red shirts catch your eye during ball practice, the young guys?
You know, there's a lot of them that did. I mean, I'm not ready to name one person, but we gave those guys, the first 3 days were really their days, and you know, it was just good to slow down and work with them, and it confirmed that the guys we redshirted are players, you know, that I think can help us next year.
Gus, a couple of guys talked about Prince Salmons and said even though he only had a couple of days,
Yeah.
he really jumped out. What did you see out of a guy that really is kind of new to football and didn't practice all fall?
Yeah, you know, what really stood out to me is he competed because he hadn't done a whole lot, and he was able to compete. He's a very athletic, strong guy that still learned the game, and so it was encouraging to me as far as him going to spring. I think he's got a chance to, you know, to make some noise at his position.
Gus, in your time as a coach,
How important is it for the young guys to get, you know, every minute they can with the seniors that are on the way out?
Yeah, I think it's very important. You know, I've said all along that this is one of the best leadership groups we've had. And it's going to be nothing but better for the juniors, the sophomores, and the freshmen. Be able to see the example. You know, we've had ups and downs this year. And when you do that, you find out your true character, and you find out the true character of your leaders. And so just moving forward, you know, the players that are younger, they've had great examples to look up to. So that's what's really exciting for me, to watch these guys grow and just keep building upon what we're doing.
what I was going to ask Gus was just that, you know, in your time as a coach, have you seen any opposing receiver as explosive as Westbrook? I mean, he's got like more 60-plus yard touchdown catches than any receiver in like the last 20 years of college football.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell he's special. There's no doubt. He's turned the film on, and it's like a highlight film. He's a special player. You know, if you're asking me, you know, over 26 years of coaching, it's hard, but to compare. But you know, he's definitely a very good player that has our attention, and you know, he's one of the guys that you have to stop to be successful.
Marquise McClain during practices.
Yeah, Marquise is a very talented young man. You know, they've been talking all year about him on the scout team, making plays, just doing a super job. He's one of those guys that made some plays when we put the ball down and let those guys play for the 3 or 4 days that we did. And you know, he's a very talented guy, and there's no doubt he'll help us in the future. And you know, he'll be in the mix, you know, next year.
Do you think you could give him a look at tight end, or do you think he's definitely?
You know, I don't. I mean, I'm not ready to say that right now. He's a big guy, but you know, he can really run. He's got a great vertical, got good hands. Just an all-around very good athlete, very good person too.
Do you feel like Prince Tech is a spot, do you feel good about him maybe competing this spring for one of those open tackle spots?
You know, I think so. I mean, I think you'll have a chance to compete for a spot. You know, he's been, you know, an offensive tackle for a season now. You know, the spring will be very, very important for him. He wants to be good. He's got that competitive nature in him. It's just he's playing a new position. Sometimes it takes a little bit, but spring will be really good for him.
I think this will be the first time since probably the LSU game that both Carry On and Peckway are both 100% healthy.
Yeah.
What were the two of them capable of when you have both of them?
We're a lot better team when both those guys are healthy. So I mean, I'm excited, and you can just sense our offense when they're out there practicing. You know, just the confidence they have that the pieces to the puzzle, you know, are healthy and out there practicing, and everybody's going full speed. It's just a different feel. But those two guys, you know, have a lot to do with that.
Yeah, I know it was a long time ago, but you crossed paths with Stoops and coached against him in '07, you and Herb.
Yeah.
Just schematically, how similar defensively are they, him and?
You know, I think Coach Venables, I think, was the defense coordinator then, and that's been a long time. But you know, Coach Stoops, you know, he's known as a very good defensive coach, and so you know there's some similarities, but you know different defense coordinators.
Not a lot of guys who've coached for both of you, but Brandon Hall is one of them. Is that somebody you've reached out to just as far as his experience there and coaching for him a little bit more recently, just to gain some knowledge and background knowledge?
Yeah, if I did that, I probably wouldn't tell you.
And you probably wouldn't want to mention it, talk to Brandon about anything else.
Probably not. Yeah, probably not.
Coach, a number of players have talked about Marlon Character and Nick Coe defensively being standouts during these workouts.
Yeah.
What can you say about those two guys?
Yeah. Nick Cole's got a chance. I mean, he's got a very good skill set, and you know, he's a very big athlete. I think spring will be good for him. Marlon Character, there's no doubt, is going to be a very good player too. Those are two guys that, now that you mentioned their name, that did some really good things. You know, the first couple of practices. So we got some young guys that can play. That's what's really exciting. You know, we've a good chance we'll have more depth next year than we've had in a long time. So it's good.
Yes, Carry On said he was excited when Petway announced he was coming back.
Mhm.
He's like, hey, I feel really good. To have that attitude to, hey, welcome. What's that mean to have guys that are wanting to play with each other?
Yeah, I think that's what makes a team special. If you got a chance to do something special, you need your best players, and they really like each other. They complement each other. So I think it says a lot. And I know that doesn't happen at every team around the country, so it's great that it's happening here.
Because have you seen Joe Mixon too?
I have not.
Regardless of this is the third team in 2 years that the opponent that you're facing that has a player who has a violent act against a woman from Devontae Fields at Louisville, Jeffrey Simmons, now Westbrook and Mixon. Do you feel how do you feel this, as far as this is an issue in college sports, that this is something that you're going up against teams that are willingly accepting either transfers or accepting players on their team with these issues?
Yeah, I don't get into other people's teams and all that. I just worry about ours, and you know, every coach coaches their program like they'd want, but I don't get into all that.
Gus, you may have to replace a pretty good pass rusher next year, possibly. Do you think Nick Coe is a guy that can help there, or is he that ability?
Yeah, Nick Cole has a skill set that can play defensive end. There's no doubt. I mean, we'll have to get out in the spring, but just you know, raw ability. He's got a lot of raw ability, and just a matter of spring, I'll be able to answer that question a little better. But I've been impressed with him so far.
Gus, given how well he performed in Marcus's absence, did Stephen Roberts win a punt return job? Is he going to be the guy back there?
You know, there's a good chance. Marcus is trying to get back for the bowl game. I think he'll have a chance to play. Stephen Roberts did a super job. You know, I'm not ready to right now to say, yeah, for sure, but, you know, we have a lot of confidence in Stephen. If Marcus, you know, can't get back to 100%.
What are you gonna do for Christmas?
For Christmas, gonna go see my parents and my in-laws, and then go see my oldest daughter.
Have you finished your Christmas shopping? Have you started? Do you have someone handling it?
No, I don't, no, I'll need to do that when I get done practicing. My wife helps me a lot with that, so.
Even her present?
I usually do her present, yeah, on the 24th, something like that, yeah. She knows that, so.
Mark's got a question.
Is there anything that you guys did last year in preparation for the Birmingham Bowl that really worked that you'd like to see happen again this year?
You know, I think the big thing is, you know, before you leave and you go off to Christmas, you really need everything set. And all you do when you get to bowl side is just really fine tune everything, and that's really was our plan last year, and, you know, it'd be very similar this year that, you know, we will have 4 good practices once we get to the bowl site, but, you know, the main preparation as far as the coaching aspect and the scheming aspect is put to bed before you leave.
Anybody else?
Okay, y'all have a Merry Christmas and be safe.